Giving you a live look right now at the Senate floor, where the confirmation vote for Judge Brett Kavanaugh set to take place just a couple and change hours from now. The final tally is expected to be 50-48 in favor of Kavanaugh. It is the smallest margin for a Supreme Court confirmation vote in more than a century, as we give you a look at the steps of the Supreme Court. Hundreds there chanting, protesting. You can see the crowd out there in the plaza in front of the court steps. There are others on the edges there of Capitol Hill. Definitely a contentious time, and those rallying and using their voices to make their efforts heard realize that there is this pivotal vote, this extraordinary vote that is coming up. And while that may not change the vote, they're certainly making their emotions heard, and it's probably not the last we will have heard from any of them. Let's bring in MSNBC political analyst Jonathan Alter, columnist for the Daily Beast, former House GOP Committee Counsel Sophia Nelson, an NBC THINK contributor, and RNC spokesperson Kayleigh McEnany. As always, good to see all three of you. Sophia, I'm going to start with you here because you are a Republican who's been saying for weeks Kavanaugh should withdraw as the nominee. So here we are today. What's your reaction to how it's all unfolded?
Well, look, obviously, we're past the point where he's going to withdraw. He's going to be confirmed this afternoon, and probably by one vote. I'm understanding that Lisa Murkowski is going to vote present now instead of no. That's at least what I saw a few moments ago, which I think is interesting.
This is to counter Senator Davies, who actually is stuck at his daughter's wedding.
Yes,
so, yes.
Absolutely right. And so, obviously, yesterday, Susan Collins had the eyes of the world on her. I was disappointed. She holds the seat of my political hero, Margaret Chase Smith, who was a great Republican woman senator who stood up to Joe McCarthy. Her declaration of conscience is legendary. And I thought that Susan would rise to that moment because I know that she reveres Margaret Chase Smith as well. Look, she has a right to her opinion, Alex. I thought she went through a very methodical case for why she's supporting Judge Kavanaugh, but she missed the mark when she and my fellow Republicans, particularly in the Senate, the men, are saying that, oh, she's mixed up or she's confused, talking about Dr. Ford. I'm a survivor, and there are millions of us who resent that because you never, ever, ever forget your attacker, his face. You never forget it. So when she was asked by Senator Durbin, was she sure that it was Brett Kavanaugh? She said 100%, which means that you're calling her a liar in a very nice way. Oh, well, she believes what she believes, or she believes that she thinks it happened. You're calling her a liar, and that to me is despicable. That's where I come down on this.
You know, Kayleigh, to Senator Collins and the 45-minute explanation that she gave going point by point that we're getting from Sophia here, a reminder of that. She said that she chose to view the nomination and offer her support within the regards of the term presumption of innocence. Do you have any concerns about this potentially alienating female voters? I mean, look, Katie, look at the screen right now. Look at all the women there on the steps of the Supreme Court. They're in that plaza there on the edges of Capitol Hill. It's a lot of women out there right now.
Not worried about that in the slightest. In fact, the Harvard-Harris poll showed that if the FBI investigation came back clear, as it did, 60% wanted to see him confirmed. Why? Because due process still matters. Fairness still matters. Presumption of innocence still matters. I understand the left wants to throw that out in a partisan effort to smear Judge Kavanaugh, but those values are the bedrock of American society, and good for Susan Collins for pointing that out on the floor, and good for her for very meticulously going through issue by issue as to why she methodically came to this decision. I think she sent a very clear message that women in this country will get behind.
Kayleigh, may I challenge you on, you said fairness, presumption of innocence, perhaps yes, but due process. Do you think that the country is united on the perception that the FBI investigation was a fair due process? It was a thorough, rather, I should use the word thorough, due process.
I do think they're united in that because they've seen the Democrats continually move the goalpost here from saying they want a public hearing for Dr. Ford, which she received, then an FBI investigation. They said, just give us a week. In fact, it only took 3 days for the Anita Hill investigation. We gave them more than 3 days. We've given the Democrats everything they've asked for and have treated Dr. Ford incredibly fairly and equitably, but they continue to move the goalpost, and I think the country recognizes that.
Jonathan, I want you to weigh on all this, how Democrats are processing everything and where this, you think, has the biggest impact on strategy ahead of the midterms 1 month from today.
Well, I'm interested that Kayleigh's so confident that American women are behind Judge Kavanaugh in this matter. I think American women, the majority of them, would beg to differ. Are some women behind him? Yes, but it's a distinct minority. This is a very painful and depressing period for many Americans, women and men. And the way they process it and channel it in the November election will determine some of the future of our politics. I think in the American suburbs, where many of these House races will be decided, it's not just Democratic women, but independent women and many Republican women, many of whom are survivors of sexual assault, who will not forget this moment. And not only will they vote for the Democrat in these areas, giving them an edge in the House races, but they will, in many cases, go out and get their friends and neighbors to vote. And many are doing so today, not those in Washington, but there are a lot of people who are not going to wring their hands anymore. They're going to be ringing doorbells to bring out the vote. So I think it's looking bad for the Republicans in the House. The Senate, as Mike Murphy said a few minutes ago, is a different story and plays more to Republican strengths. So I think the odds are that they'll hold the Senate.
Sophia, I'm curious, as we heard Lisa Murkowski give the reasoning for why she was going to vote no, despite being a Republican there, she said that she didn't question his legitimacy, his level of jurisprudence, being able to reflect aptly on any sort of a ruling. What she did say was that he is not the guy for this time. How many Republicans do you think feel that way? And as those Republicans, specifically in the Senate, who are casting their vote, are they casting that vote potentially feeling that way, or just trying to preserve the seat on the Supreme Court?
You know, I don't think we have time today to get into Republicans versus conservatives, because I think that's a whole show we could do by itself. So I think there's a difference there, number one. Number two, I think, like Mike Murphy said, Republican women like myself, moderates and independents, fall in a very different camp from Republican women like Kayleigh, who are much more conservative and supportive of Judge Kavanaugh. I think with respect to Lisa Murkowski, though, she comes down where I come down, which is that Judge Kavanaugh showed us his temperament is ill-suited to a seat on the United States Supreme Court. For me, that's always been my issue. The way he testified, his back and forth with senators, his obstinance, his, frankly, rudeness, particularly to Amy Klobuchar, was stunning. Yes, he apologized. He's writing an op-ed. How many passes are we going to give this guy? This is, to me, what the 6 Republican women did, minus Lisa Murkowski, which makes 5. They sanctioned privilege and patriarchy. And I have a piece coming out in NBC THINK tomorrow. Y'all need to read it, because that's what this is really about. They sanctioned the status quo, and Lisa Murkowski understands we're in a different moment, and Kavanaugh just was not the right person. Amy would have been great. Judge Amy, I think it's Walters, whatever her name is,
Barrett,
and others,
Barrett,
I think would have been better choices. And they're very conservative, by the way. So I don't know why they fought on this hill and died on this hill. I don't know.
Kayleigh, quickly, as we are hitting the top of the hour, when we're taking a look at the protests, many of those in that audience that you see there in that group rallying right now on Capitol Hill are women. Kayleigh, Sophia brings up a point. Do you think that Brett Kavanaugh, for the good of the Supreme Court and then the country in general, would it have been better had that nomination been withdrawn, whether he did it himself or the president had did it, and you had gone with someone like an Amy Barrett or a Raymond Kethledge, both of whom were vetted, both of whom were names that were out there for quite some time, even as the president was taking office? Those were those that were being put forward by Don McGahn, White House counsel, to say, these are people I want to look at if this opportunity arises for you to make an appointment.
No, Judge Kavanaugh has exposed the Democrats in that they will go to no lengths. No lengths will stop them from trying to smear a man and stop a nomination. That has become clear. But what I'll tell you is those women who are marching right now, there are a lot of women out there, myself included, and I believe a majority, who do not stand with the women at the Women's March who call Susan Collins a rape sympathizer because she pointed out facts. Susan Collins is not a rape sympathizer, and it's very interesting when the woman, it was a woman who stood up and saved this nomination. All of a sudden, that woman has no right to speak, all of a sudden, because she supports Judge Kavanaugh. So very interesting. Most women in this country do not stand with calling a female senator with a lot of dignity a rape sympathizer simply because of a vote she cast.
All right, listen, we do need to get to these protesters. We have Mike Vaquera standing by to get to that. So I want to thank all 3 of you so much. Kayleigh, Sophia, Jonathan, thank you.